Hey everyone, I wanted to give you all an update on what I've been doing lately. After using the Unity engine for around 4 to 5 years, I decided to check out the Unreal Engine 4. The main reason for this was based off the types of games I want to develop. The graphic capabilities of Unity was something that left me wanting more. They did a really great job in implementing a lot of new features in Unity 5, but something about the rendering seemed off to me. The shadow softness, there were a lot of things missing. After spending a week with Unreal Engine 4, I'm happy to report that all of these problems that I've ever had with the Unity engine are completely solved. The rendering pipeline, the graphics capabilities of Unreal Engine is amazing. It really solves all of my problems. And I want to walk through these scenes. So I've developed 3 scenes that I've worked on. 2 of them I made with PBR textures, so I use Substance Designer, and one of them I just used the Infinity Blade art, so they had like a mountain snow environment. This was the first one I worked on. I wanted to try out the level editor, and I wanted to see how fast I could create an environment. It took a lot longer than Unity, of course, because I'm not experienced in Unreal at all. In the first environment, I put the third-person character, so this is the one you're seeing on the screen now, which is the mountain with the snow particles coming through and the character. All I had to do was modify the camera. Really simple to do in Blueprints. I'll talk about Blueprints a little later, but as you can see, I went for a pretty small environment. It's like a little diorama which you can run around. I wanted to test out the lighting, the particles, and the editor. So all in all, I was super happy with how the editor works. It's amazing how things snap to. I know you can do snapping in Unity, but trust me, it's just a lot different in Unreal. I felt a lot quicker. I felt like the tools were a lot better for me to develop levels. It was great. The lighting really shocked me. The softness of the light, even when you put it at super high intensity against a wall, it doesn't have weird artifacts or a weird look. It looks right. It's very hard to explain. And the other crazy thing is, light mapping in Unity takes forever. When you build the lighting, it takes no time at all, and it's very accurate. I noticed in Unity, when I would bake the lighting in a scene, it would not be anywhere near as accurate. In Unreal, when I bake the lighting, it looks better. And then I noticed this option. I had something called preview lighting. You have production lighting. You turn that on, it looks amazing. It's insane. The other thing that shocked me was the performance of the engine. Now, when you get the Infinity Blade test scene and you mess around with the stats, you can see that there's 1,000 plus draw calls going. 60 frames per second, really smooth. And the lighting, the point lights take barely any set pass calls draw calls compared to Unity. It was crazy. This next environment, it was just me messing around with one Substance Designer a bunch of textures I made basically, and a material I made. So this is my first time actually messing around with the material editor, and the first time in a long time that I used Substance Designer. So the material editor is awesome. It takes a lot more getting used to than Unity, because Unity just gives you preset options. If you purchase Shader Forge, then you can create your own shaders with nodes. Unreal has an inbuilt shader system where you can make nodes and create your own types of shaders. You can create any shader you want without having to go to the marketplace or the asset store and getting additional packs. So in Unity, you have to get Shader Forge, and if you're familiar with Shader Forge, Unreal has had this forever. UDK had this as well. And the other thing I wanted to mess around with in this environment were the particle effects. So in the previous environment you saw, I did mess around with particle effects, but that was kind of like they call it blueprints, but it was a prefab. If you use the Unity terms, it was a prefab of a particle effect. In this environment, I created these particle effects. Pain in the ass, took me forever, but I finally got it, and I really like them. The particle editor is amazing. Everything in this engine, it feels like there's a very specific process and tools around each thing. It doesn't feel hacked together. This last environment is where I experimented with blueprints. So I developed, you'll see, you can pick up a key and then go to a door. I did make the door rotate at one point, but something messed up, so I just deleted the door. I destroyed it. Destroyed the actor. And it's the first map where I really messed around with the reflections. So This map, I want it to look super realistic, so I got some nice PBR textures. I messed around with the reflections, which are awesome. The lighting, which is fantastic. I learned a bit about having too many lights together, which is something in Unity as well, but it's not as obvious. And the post-processing, it's awesome. I want to talk a bit about post-processing for a second, because in Unity, I bought so many packages trying to solve my issues with getting a look, a very particular look. And in Unreal, all of the post-processing gives the exact look. And it comes down to something I mentioned earlier, where I wanted everything to have a soft look to it, a more realistic look to it. In Unity, everything, I'm not talking about anti-aliasing, I'm just mean everything looks sharp. Like if you make a rock, the edges of it, for some reason, it just looks so sharp. My students would always say like, oh, okay, we can tell it's a Unity game because of the rocks and certain things. There's just something about the look of Unity which you can escape with different art styles, all that stuff. But when you do like a more realistic PBR textured environment, it just has no way of looking as good as another engine, because Unity unfortunately isn't equipped with the tools. And for me, Unreal is equipped with the tools, so I'm really excited about all the post-processing, all the lighting, all the shadows, everything. Anyway, in my next video, I'm going to go through my prototyping, because if you've been watching my channel, you've probably seen that I have a lot of prototypes. I've released a few games, but I have a ton of prototypes that never see the light of day after being prototyped. So I want to tell you guys why I do that and kind of explain the process, because I feel like a lot of people watching would go, oh, okay, he's just he's doing what everyone does, he's shelving his games over and over. There's a very good reason I shelve my prototypes, and there's good reasons corporations do that to save millions of dollars, but I'm going to go into that in depth in the next video. So in the meantime, thanks everyone for subscribing. I'm really shocked we're like, was it nearly 700? I don't understand how, but awesome. Thanks everyone. And thank you for watching this video. Thanks for watching all my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.